it says I'm live on Facebook, so I'm going to just pretend I'm live on Facebook, and hopefully you can see me. And hopefully you are seeing my whiteboard. Oops, my whiteboard and my heart and my other heart. That beautiful heart is from the Redwood Forest up in Northern California. It is gorgeous. It makes me so happy. And then this heart was created and painted for me by all my good friends on my last big birthday. You'll have to guess what year that was, but my last big birthday, they all painted that for me. They all painted a little piece of it, and then I put the big giant white heart over it. And that is the centerpiece of my, well, where I'm sitting right now, so that you can know that we are hearts to hearts, right? That we are hearts to hearts, and that is us connected together. So I am just going to go right over here to my Facebook page to see if I can see myself and see your comments, because a minute ago it wasn't live, but I'm going to know it's working now because it says I'm live. So I am going to know I'm live. Come on. Oh, there it is. Boom. I'm live. I'm live. Okay, excellent. So today, first of all, always, let's start out the same way. I want to find out how you are today. I want you just to have a place every day to come and just say how you're doing. Just freedom to say whatever's on your mind. And then I've got something special that I want to talk about today. But first, I just want to find out about you. How are you? Like, really? And if you know me, if you study with me, if you are training with me to become a certified fearless living coach, if you take some of my courses, you know that I do not ask the question, how are you? I don't. You know why? Because 99.9% of the time, nobody wants the answer, right? So when somebody asks you, how are you? And you say crappy, they don't normally say, what's going on? Can I help? They go, oh, sorry, bummer. And then they change the subject. So I do not ask people how they are unless I really want to know how you are. So I want to know how you are. And every day at 5 p.m. Pacific, I want to know how you are. I want you to have one place that you can say crappy, shitty, awesome, hopeful, excited, joyous, miraculous. So one way that we do this in Fearless Living is when I ask you like what is, like how you feel, if you want to write down one word. So think of one word. What is the one word is your feeling? So again, remember a few Facebook Lives ago, I gave you a feelings list. And remember what I told you to do. If you don't know your feeling, guess. If you don't know your feeling, guess. So just go ahead and write down right now, what are you feeling? So Patty says, I'm worried about the future, what it's going to look like. Yeah, we can talk about that. Joanne says, been packing most of the day, moving in 3 weeks, feeling motivated. Patty writes, hi, we love you, Dan. We have visual confirmation. Thank you. Thank you so much. Terry says, frustrated. Oh, Terry. Carolyn says, drained. Yes, Terry, I owe you an email, my friend. I actually just wrote myself a note about 2 hours ago, like, Terry, I forgot to email her back because I have so many emails in my inbox. So tell me how you're feeling. Go ahead and just give me one word about how you're feeling. And I want to hear from you. So we've got drained and worried and frustrated. Today, I'm feeling impactful and powerful. And why I'm feeling impactful and powerful is I've been teaching all day, and I'm teaching after I do this Facebook Live. So I have volunteered my services to any group that wants me to come in and speak to them. So any Facebook group, Instagram group, Zoom class, whatever, anybody who wants a fear expert to come and talk to their group of people, I am going to speak to them. So I've literally put it out on a couple different Facebook groups that I belong to and just said, hey, if it would help you for your group and your community to have me talk, bring it, I will talk. So I've got 4 of those scheduled today. So I am on fire with Fearless Living. And, you know, right now, Fearless Living isn't about jumping out of a plane, right? Right now, it's about taking care of ourselves at a deep level and really supporting ourselves. So one of the questions that I got asked in one of the groups today was, well, how do you become more aware when you're in fear so that you can shift it? I thought that was such a good question. So I thought that's what I would talk about with you today, since it was such a good question and had so much discussion around it. Like, how do you really become aware of how fears run in your life? How do you then switch it? So I've decided that every day for the next few days, I'm going to break apart what's called the Wheel of Fear and actually show it to you and explain it to you so that you have a better understanding about how you can start identifying when fear has you. Because again, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that fear is invisible, it's insidious, and it is a trickster. And so it's hard to see it. We just think, I know for me, most of my life, I thought all of my fear responses, and that's what we call them here at Fearless Living, fear responses. I thought all my fear responses were just flaws, defects, things wrong with me. I thought it was just, something was wrong with me. And I blamed myself. I thought I was lazy or stupid or not good enough. And that's just not true here at Fearless Living. We don't believe that one iota. Remember the other day when I talked about gentle and compassion and kindness? You know, that's what we want to lead here with Fearless Living. And the more that you can be gentle, kind, and compassionate, the more fearless you actually are. Now, let's not confuse compassion, kind, and gentle with passive. There is no passivity when you are gentle, kind, and compassionate. No, 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 no. I am talking about an active passion, an action, compassion, kind, and gentle, right? So I think some people think, well, I'm being kind or gentle because I'm being passive. It's like, no, that's not actually it. You're being passive. Passive is based in fear. So today, I want to find out how you are. So I'm going to just look. Carolyn says, sending love. Lynn says, I'm crippled with fear right now. I totally get that, Lynn. Martin says, supported. Janet says, needing quiet. Totally get that, Janet. Let's see. Whoops, my Facebook disappeared. You're just going to have to love me while I do this. Elizabeth says, phone call. So yeah, so just go ahead and tell me. The first thing I want to hear, and I want to add this to our daily check-in, is just tell me how you're feeling. So many of you are frustrated, worried, nervous, feeling lost. I get it. So why don't we every single solitary day discuss one thing that's going to support you in moving through this. Start building your awareness about how fear works so you don't get tricked by it. And then supporting you obviously in solutions so that you can move past it. Because that's really what we want to do, right? We no longer want to live in the past. That's what most of us do, by the way, because that's how we're wired, right? The brain is wired. It's actually wired. The brain is wired, if we're on automatic pilot, to look at the past to find a solution for a problem in the present. Let me say that again. We're actually wired, if we stay unconscious and we don't make choice, to look in the past automatically to find a solution in the past for the present. But that is not where our decisions are decisions of the present. We're not going to find the answer in the past. I'm not going to do that. We're not going to create a new future by looking in the past for solutions to the present problems. We're not going to create a new future. So right now, we have a huge opportunity before us. The world, I like to think and this is I hope that you take this the right way, but it's like a big snow day, right? Like when I grew up in Upper Michigan, Upper Minnesota, we got 365 inches of snow a year, and there were snow days and nobody could do anything during snow days, right? Everybody couldn't go out. You were trapped in your house. And this is a long extended snow day, and you may not be eating popcorn and watching movies, but we are isolated, incubated, solitude in however we're taking care of ourselves. And again, some of us are with our family and it doesn't feel very solitude at all. And some of us are alone, but regardless, we have feelings and we want to make choices, and we don't want those feelings to make the choices. We want to make the choices. We want our frontal lobe to make the choices. We don't want fear to do it for us, right? So today I thought I would answer the question that I got asked in a different class about, well, Rhonda, how do you become aware of if fear is running your life? How do you know if it's fear? I thought that was such a good question. So I thought I would go through how the Wheel of Fear works and explain that to you really briefly. And then this week, we're going to go through the different parts so that you can actually start noticing and becoming aware of your Wheel of Fear. Because the more that you understand how fear works and how it processes through you, the more you're going to be able to take your power back. And I don't know about you, but that is revolutionary. I mean, when I started understanding how fear really worked and not just be afraid of fear, but actually be willing to understand fear, that absolutely 100% was the defining moment of my life, and what allowed me to finally forgive my father, what allowed me to forgive my mother, what allowed me to move forward. because all the therapy, all the workshops, all the books I read were nice, but they gave me tools and skills, which was nice, but they didn't actually change my filtering system. And I know we've been talking about neuroscience a little bit, and I think I shared with you previously that neuroscience says that the only way to truly change your life is by changing your filtering system. So that is changing, you know, this is the Wheel of Freedom glasses. We're going to put these as the Wheel of Freedom glasses because I'm going to put these back on. And these are the Wheel of Fear glasses, right? So the Wheel of Fear, you look through a different filter at the same event. Global pandemic through the Wheel of Fear is going to look very different, and you're going to respond very different than if you look at the global pandemic through the Wheel of Freedom. And that's what I want to work on over the next few days, is taking little bit by little bit to remind the people like Brenda, who took the Fearless Living course a few years ago, and it was life-changing, she said, to support her in remembering what she learned and to anchor it deeper. And for those of you who are new to Fearless Living, start helping you kind of make your way through fear so it no longer runs your life. And give me a high five if you're with me. Give me a high five if you're with me. You with me? Yes, you're with me, right? Because there's a lag time, so I don't actually know if you're with me, and I can't see you, so I don't know. But give me a thumbs up if you're with me. Give me a thumbs up if you're with me. Thumbs up. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Oh, give me hearts. That's what you do. Hearts and thumbs up. Hearts and thumbs up if you're with me. And you are with me because you want to understand how your fear shows up so you can put it in its place, because that's what we want to do. We want to put fear in its place and say, bye-bye, fear. I see you, and I'm not going to get tricked by you a minute longer. So give me some hearts and some thumbs up, and then I know we are going forward. So give me some hearts up and thumbs up if you are ready to kind of dive into the Wheel of Fear so you can see it for what it is and not get tricked by it ever again. If you're with me, go for it, go for it, go for it. I want to hear from you. Yeah, give me some. There you go. Oh yeah, those, I love it. Yes, that's what I want to see. Okay, so great. So I am going to get I left my board out. Oh yes, I love those little, those images. Okay, everybody see my board? And I think you'll be able to see it correctly. I hope you can. I'm just going to know that you can see it correctly. We're going to know that it's going to show up correctly. So we're going to focus on one aspect of the wheel today, and only one aspect. We're going to do one bit by one bit so you can actually see how it works so that you can take your power back. Okay. So that's the Wheel of Fear, right? It's just a big old wheel, right? Have you ever felt, Buddha says this, the wheel of suffering, right? And the wheel of suffering from Buddha is absolutely correct. The wheel of fear causes us to suffer, keeps us in pain, keeps us less than, right? So I'm going to show you what I created in order to actually change my life. So I'm going to briefly talk about the first step, but I'm going to focus on this step. This is the step we're going to focus on today. So this is the trigger. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to talk about the trigger. Okay. We're not going to talk about that today. Right now, we're going to talk about fear responses. So fear responses. So go ahead, if you got a piece of paper in front of you, and hopefully you're showing up for these Facebook Lives with some paper and some pens so you can take some notes. But today we're going to focus on fear responses. And then here is core negative, feeling, and here self-destructive, and again, we'll talk about those another day, right? We're going to talk about those another day. So just hold a second. I just thought of something. So let's not focus on this. I got some paper here. Let's not focus on the core negative. No, we're not going to focus on that today. I'm going to keep your mind focused. And we are not going to focus on self-destructive. Nope, not today. Because, I was asked in my previous class, what's the number one thing that they could be working on in order to build their awareness so they're no longer tricked by fear? And I said, oh, well, the number one thing I want you to be working on is your fear responses. So what does fear responses mean? Fear responses are the things that you do when you are trying to preserve yourself, save yourself, when you are, when you're scared, when you don't want anything bad to happen, right? When your fear's up. So I like to think of it as, you know, like I've got this fear right here. This is the soil, right? This is the soil. And I've got flowers, got beautiful flowers. And let's say that I've got some fear responses. Fear responses are procrastination, right? Procrastination, maybe perfectionism, maybe overwhelm, maybe anxiety, right? Maybe people pleasing, right? So these are some of your fear responses. So think of fear responses as your problem. So these are probably the things that you think are your problems. You know, when Patty says she's worried, now Patty may have a gosh darn good reason to be worried, right? But worry in and of itself is a function of fear, right? We don't feel worried unless we're afraid. We don't people please unless we're afraid, right? So I want you to think of this as the soil of fear. And here's your responses, right? Your perfectionism, your people pleasing, your overwhelm, your anxiety. Let's see, you're comparing, you're competing, you're beating yourself up. All of these things are fear responses. And you do, anytime you beat yourself up, that is a fear response. Anytime that you people please, fear response. Perfectionism, fear response. Beating yourself up, fear response. Overwhelm, fear response. Comparing, fear response. Competing, fear response. Manipulating, fear response. Getting defensive, fear response. You get my point? So anything that you beat yourself up for, anything that you put yourself down about is actually a fear response. It is not actually the problem at hand. It is the symptom of your fear, right? So what we do in Fearless Living is we kind of like yank out the root, get the root of that. Cause right, like you can kind of cut these flowers, and we all know if you're a gardener, if you cut the flower, right? What happens when you cut the flower? A new flower just grows, right? So you quit procrastinating. That's okay. You're just going to keep beating yourself up. What we want to do is we actually want to take that root and cut it off right at the root so that it no longer produces these fear responses. So fear responses are the thing that you think are your problem. They are the things you think you do wrong. They are the things that you beat yourself up for. They're the things that you prove that you're not worthy, prove that you can't have happiness, prove that no man will want you, prove that you'll never lose weight, prove. They are the things you point to and say, see, I can't have, I can't do, I can't this, I can't that, because I have proof. And your proof lies inside your fear responses. So what we want to do is we want to start identifying fear responses. We want to start identifying your fear responses. Now, I want you to hear this. Identifying your fear responses, having two fear responses, this is where people trick themselves, because they're like, well, I only do these two things. I only beat myself up and I only people please. I only do two things. And aren't I evolved because I only do two things? Well, in fact, it just means you're ignorant. It just means you're ignorant, and fear is really good at fooling you. All of us, myself included, and I've been doing Fearless Living for 25 years. Even me, I have fear responses, 5 of them, 10 of them, 15 of them, 20 of them, right? So the more fear responses you write down, the more you have, the more you're going to see fear for what it is. The less fear responses you have, the more fear is tricking you, because fear is insidious, it's a trickster, and it knows everything you know. It knows everything you've studied, every school you've ever gone to, every spirituality you've ever practiced. It knows your spirituality, your education, your knowledge. It knows everything. And it will use everything to keep you the same, because it's the only way it can keep you safe. So fear equals safe and same. Fear is safe and same, right? And fear's only job is to keep you safe. Its job is not to make you happy. Its job is not to make you successful, okay? So I want you, if you're willing, to write down in the comments one thing that you can say, okay, that's my fear response. What's one thing that you can say is a fear response? Do you beat yourself up? Do you put yourself down? Do you people please? Are you perfectionist? Do you complain? Do you blame yourself? Do you shame yourself? Do you compare yourself to others? Do you get overwhelmed? Do you get anxious? Like, what is one fear response? Go ahead and name it in the comments below. Go ahead and name your fear responses. Go ahead and name one, just one. Just give me one fear response. Just give me one fear response. I just want one fear response. Go ahead, give it to me. Go ahead. I'm looking, give me one. Anxious, I love that. Susan says anxious. Denise says judge. Carolyn says people pleasing. Martin says I beat myself up. Okay, excellent. So go ahead and write down one fear response. One fear response. Debbie says overthink. Marissa says control. Mindy writes procrastination. Lee says, oh gosh, it went by too fast. Marcy says start something important, but don't finish it. Yeah. Like I said, Mindy says procrastination. So good. Keep writing down the one thing. Just one. Just give me one thing. So all of these are fear responses. And what we want to do together is we actually want to write a list. Helen says indecision. Yeah, indecision is a good one, right? Because you're wanting to make the right decision, the best decision, the good decision, the effective decision, the efficient decision. But really, it's just fear keeping you confused, right? So your homework today, if you're willing to take on some homework, which I hope you are, is your job is to actually write down all of your fear responses, as many as you can come up with. So remember, the more, the better. So I want to repeat that. The more fear responses you have, the better, not more evolved. It's like if you have 10 or 15, that's fantastic. If you can have 20, awesome. Because tomorrow we're going to talk about, well, now that you have these fear responses, what are you going to do with them, right? What can you do once you know your fear responses? Because the more fear responses you know, the more you're going to see fear when it's happening. So if you know that you people please and you know it's a fear response, the next time you go to people please, you're going to have the awareness, oh my gosh, that's one of my fear responses. I'm in fear right now. Oh crap, I want to people please. I just want to tell that person yes. I can't say no to her. Right? I want you to have that visceral experience. And you're only going to have that visceral experience if you write down your fear responses. And then as you're moving through your day, start recognizing, oh my God, I'm complaining, fear response. Oh, I'm trying to control things. Oh, fear response. Okay, got it. Oh, I'm procrastinating. Oh, fear response, right? I'm indecision. Oh, fear response. So we want to kind of own our fear responses, because then once we become aware of them, we can do something different. Isn't that cool? So your homework is to actually write down your fear responses. Now, this is not meant to depress you. This is meant to educate you and help you become aware. So I know some of you might be doing your fear responses as homework and be like, oh my God, I do so many things. I'm a horrible human being, or oh, I'm writing so many things. Oh my God, does anybody else have this many? The answer is yes. And it doesn't make you a horrible person or a bad person. It just makes you a normal human being, just like me, just like you. Right? We all have 10, 15, 20, 30 fear responses or more. So it's not about how many you have. It's about how willing you are to tell yourself the truth about what you do when life is hard, when it's like working out, when you're frustrated, irritated, etc. Okay. So Lisa says all of the above. Kelly writes not speaking up. Antonio says shutting down, putting myself down, overwhelmed. Sorry, couldn't pick one. That's okay. And like as Annetta says, the more the better, Antonio, right? So your job for your homework today is to keep track of your fear responses. Just write them down. You don't have to look at them again. Just write them down, put them down. And then tomorrow when we come back, we're going to talk about what to do with those fear responses. Because once you can identify them, what that's actually doing is building your awareness about what's happening. And the more aware you are, the more you can change it. If you're not aware, you can't change it. So I'm going to say it again. The more you identify your fear responses and the more you can see it while it's happening, even if it's after the fact, a day or two, write it down. If it's 2 weeks later, hey, write it down. If it's an hour later, write it down. So it's not about, you're not going to always catch it in the second you're doing it. But I just want you to look back at your life, maybe in the last year, and what are the things that you have done that you wish you didn't do? Beat yourself up. Hopefully everybody wishes they don't beat themselves up. Maybe you haven't forgiven somebody. Great, write it down. Oh yeah, I refuse to forgive. That's a fear response. Again, manipulate, control, beating yourself up, people pleasing, overwhelm, anxiety, get defensive. How many people get defensive? How many people wait and wait and wait and don't take action because they're waiting for the perfect time, which means maybe perfectionism, right? So again, I want you to write down your fear responses. And then when we get together tomorrow, we're going to do the next step. So go ahead and tell me right now, what's the number one thing that you got out of our talk today? What's the number one thing that you got out of our talk today? And again, over the next few Facebook Lives, we're going to break down the wheel of fear. And then we're going to break down the wheel of freedom so that you know how to use these things. And then I'll tell you how to identify yours. But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So right now, I want you to just tell me one thing that you got out of our talk today. One thing. Jennifer Clarkson says, ugh, it's right, Jennifer. I know. Fear responses are completely normal. Yes, Jennifer, fear responses are completely normal. Debbie says, fear can be defeated. Yes, Debbie, fear will no longer run your life, young lady. No, 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 no. We want to say no to fear. Thank you so much, but no, thank you. Thank you so much, but no, thank you, right? And Nancy says, tool for awareness. Yes. Patty says, I have way too many fear responses. Patty, you're not alone. I bet if I asked anyone on here, everybody has 10, 20, 30, 40 fear responses. Martin says, awareness. Emma says, identify my fear responses. Rain says, she helped me through so much in my life. Thank you, Miss Rain. Marissa says, when I become aware, I can make changes. Yes, if you're not aware of when you're beating yourself up, you can't stop beating yourself up. If you're not aware that you're people pleasing and you think you're just being loving, you've named loving and it's really people pleasing, you're not going to change your behavior, right? We don't want to mislabel things to let ourselves off the hook and to continue the behavior that is keeping us in suffering and pain, right? Lori says, I have many fear responses. Good. Doreen says, identify our fears is good. Yes, it is. Mindy says, I'm not alone. That's what I got today. Excellent, Mindy. That makes me so happy. You are not alone. All right. So keep writing down the one thing that you got out of today and then plan on meeting me back here tomorrow because we're going to do the next step together. And after, so many fear Facebook Lives, we might actually be able to figure out and be able to know what to do when fear comes up. I'm knowing that to be true. So today, fear responses, tomorrow, the next step. All right. So until then, make sure you write down the one thing that you got out of our time together. And I will look forward to seeing your beautiful faces tomorrow. Until then, be fearless. Thank you. Be fearless, everyone. Thank you. Be fearless. Thank you. Be fearless. Thank you. Be fearless.